Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fantasy NBA Today Show, a Sports Ethos presentation brought to you by our great partners at FanDuel. You guys are looking to win your fantasy league. Look, you're in the right place. We got a great show lined up today as we break down the week ahead, take a look at which teams have the best schedules, and identify the players you guys should consider streaming. Quick shout out to all of our listeners, and more of you guys are tuning in. So shout out to the new listeners, and whether you guys are new or longtime supporters, we are glad you're here. On today's episode, we're going to break down the week ahead as well as the week ahead after that. It's a get ahead week, and it's a good time to do that because A, your fantasy playoffs are right around the corner, but B, people kind of tend to take a break, and this is where you can get ahead of that crowd. So first, we're going to cover Thursday through Sunday after the All-Star break, and then we will get to the week after that. So as we get back from the break, there's a lot of basketball games. The only low traffic day is Saturday, which has 6 games. 10 games on Thursday, 9 on Friday, 11 on Sunday. So it's going to be tight, but that's what we're here for. I don't think I'm going to go through teams with 3 versus 2 games, but I will point out that the Jazz have just 1 game, which is going to make it very hard for those guys to tank. But we will save our Jazz jokes for later. All right. The best schedules belong to the Philadelphia 76ers, the Phoenix Suns, the Orlando Magic, the Knicks, and the Bulls, and they play Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Let's start with the Sixers, Doc. Who do you like there?
Brew, I want to go back to the 3-game teams just real quick. Mm-hmm. I'm really on a Nolan Traore kick right now, and he plays 3 games, and then Tristan Vukcevic, who's going to be filling in for the injured Alex Sarr, is also a 3-game guy next week. So that not only are they hot pickups, but it's perfect timing as well. For the Sixers, Dominic Barlow is very interesting. I actually wrote about him in the Work on the Wire column that we just released today. And Barlow has quietly been good and effective, and the fact that Paul George is not there really helps him. And then Quentin Grimes is your guy. I'll let you speak about Quentin Grimes. I haven't messed with him this year, and we all would love to see Adem Bona do something. Is Joel Embiid got shut down till the All-Star break, didn't he? He missed those last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, they did report there was pain in the knee. So I mean, is that like any different than a day that ends in Y for him? Probably not. But, they were honest with their reporting and actually appreciate that out of Nick Nurse after so many years of the opposite of that. But yeah, no, it's obviously Barlow, I think, is the guy right now. That's super exciting. And it's exciting, too, because he had an illness. He missed a game, and then he gets in there in the last game before the break. Has a big poppy game. He's had a couple big poppy games. His overall stat profile for the season doesn't like scream, add me, but no Paul George. And he just seems like a fit and a lock for rest of season minutes. And if he's going to have big poppy stat lines, I think we're going to see an increase in the level of what he brings to the table on a per game basis. Right now on the season in the top 150 to 170 range prior to the big game last night. I don't think the numbers have moved too much because I probably didn't even have the bad game in his measurement. But no, I think I did. Anyway, he the level's going up with him. And especially in a streaming situation like this, I just think it's a lock. Like, I think Barlow should be owned in all 12-team standard formats at this point. Grimes is limping into the break. It was an ankle. It was an illness. It's, the roster crunch. It's all the different things. But as they're sitting there kind of trying to why are we losing now all of a sudden, and Quentin Grimes is taking 2 shots a game, I would kind of start looking there, guys, if you're in Philly and trying to figure out where could we go next and how can we pick this back up and turn things around. Because this team, they had a good start and they're in the middle of the pack in the East, but man, they could start tumbling down to 7, 8, 9, and you get into the play-in and it gets a lot less exciting, and you might even see them start to pull different levers to not go for it. So Quentin Grimes, I'm not saying folks should pick him up and stream him here with an expectation of production. I think the 3 games are nice. This is more of a almost like a stash to see if he can rehabilitate his value. And then Adem Bona, who may or may not have been tattooed on my body somewhere. He is kind of in the crosshairs. He's not producing though, Doc. Would you take a stab there?
No.
No. Yep.
No, I'd rather have Musa Cisse at this point than Adem Bono. I'd rather have Tristan Vukcevic,
oh God,
Jay Huff, Traore, Barlow.
But that said,
almost anyone.
In a roto setting, like the interesting thing here, there's maybe some time in the offseason spent on like blocks as a concept. Like the blocks seem to be down in the NBA. You got Wemby with blocks and a couple others, but like Dembona, Isaiah Stewart, these guys, hell, Cisse when he starts getting going, like they're like up there in the blocks rank. So if you need a blocks push, there's very few guys in the NBA that can like do that for you. And you got a guy who theoretically, if Joel Embiid gets hurt, and we've seen it as recently as last season, could get in there and move the number. It's the only reason that he's still kind of interest at this point in time. Okay, let's get out of Philly and let's look at the Phoenix Suns. Who do you like there, Doc?
That was a lot of Philly time we just used. Your guy Grayson Allen should be rostered anyway. Your guy Royce O'Neal, you like picking him up right now, I think, and he's been playing pretty well. And Jordan Goodwin is always interesting. Like those are the three guys in Phoenix I would mess with.
Interesting breaking news as we're recording Thursday before the games. Jalen Williams has been ruled out against the Bucks tonight on Thursday after aggravating the injury that recently sidelined him for 10 games. So, man, this season just keeps on keeping on for Jalen Williams. This is rough stuff.
At least he's got a real injury. At least we know he's hurt, right? And he was hurt coming in. So I'm not as mad as him as I am a guy like Ja Morant.
Yeah, we gotta see what happens with that guy after the break. It just feels like there's not even a chance he plays. Maybe get a surgery to take care of something that he needs to take care of anyway. But back to Williams. So I will be looking toward Jalen Green as the archetype for what a return could look like here. We saw Jalen Green, who had a terrible hamstring injury. I mean, like felt like it was a grade 3, but like he just aggravated it a couple weeks ago, and then he's back on the floor now. So hopefully the kind of like the 10-day kind of time between today and when the next Thunder game is, he can more or less get back. And this is just them tapping the brakes a little bit with him. Maybe hopefully some of a natural, response to returning to full game speed. Had a great game. He almost made all of his shots. But this, they just got to be super careful here. And this is just yet more bad news. I don't know that I would move the needle for this news on other players like, say, Jared McCain, somebody down roster. AJ Mitchell, when he returns, I think he will just kind of pick up where he left off, regardless of what's going on. But some intrigue in Oklahoma City right now with injuries. And we talked about our love for San Antonio and the overall big picture. But let's get back to the Suns here. They also play Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. So they get the 3 games here to help you win your week. Where would you start with the Suns, Doc?
Like I said, Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and Jordan Goodwin. Those are the only ones I trust. And Grayson Allen's probably rostered in most leagues.
Yeah, Jordan Goodwin's somebody to keep an eye on, especially if the Suns end up on a standings island late in the year. Royce O'Neal, whenever the Suns are -1 guy, Royce O'Neal is a logical place to go, for your production. And Grayson Allen, I think he will be out a week more after the All-Star break. Just a hunch there. Let's get to the Orlando Magic, who play Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Doc, what do you like there?
Don't really like any of the fringe streamy guys on this team. You've got Wendell Carter Jr., you got Mo Wagner, you got Tristan Da Silva. I don't trust any of them. So if I'm going to try to find streamers for Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm probably not going to look at the Magic.
Yeah, it's just a rough situation there. Wendell Carter Jr., if he's been dropped, would be a pretty damn good streamer because he's been a top 80 to 90 guy on the season all year, sliding a little bit lately. So maybe
not in head-to-head. He wouldn't be fun, but maybe.
Yeah, I get you, Doc. Let's get to the New York Knicks. They play Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. Going to tee up some Jose.
I don't know, man. He's averaging 18.5 minutes over his 2 games in New York and playing behind Jalen Brunson, who plays 40 minutes a game. And I don't see a window for Alvarado to get up to 25 minutes 25 minutes would be great. He's had one horrible game and one dud and one great game. One incredible game. Probably the best game he'll have the rest of the way. But
I think they love him in New York.
I think I'd stream Alvarado. If I knew Mitchell Robinson was playing, I would stream him, I think.
Yeah, if you could get maybe like a Thursday, Sunday combo. Cat's actually looked fairly spry lately. And that's been nice to see. His fantasy value was zigzagged all over the place. So as he's been looking more spry, he hasn't had as much fantasy value lately, but he did have a big free throw that he made in that Pacers game. They ultimately lost, but it was one of those moments where you could see the crowd finally kind of embracing Karl-Anthony Towns this season after a really, really rough year. So hopefully he takes that momentum from that situation through the break and into the other side. But Mitchell Robinson, if he's going to get 2 out of the 3 games, that could be interesting there. But Jose Alvarado for sure. And let's get to Chicago, where we've got also Thursday, Saturday, Sunday action. There's all sorts of names here. Where do you start, Doc?
Well, it depends on who's healthy. You got Josh Giddey and Trey Jones. And Trey Jones may have been dropped. And if Trey Jones is playing, I think I want to pick him up. However, the addition of Anthony Simons and Jaden Ivey to the Bulls, not to mention Colin Sexton, it makes their backcourt a little murky. And I don't know if Trey Jones is going to be what he was before the break. So that there's a lot of big question marks there. I think I like Jaden Ivey. I think I like Anthony Simons here. And I'm kind of over Jalen Smith, Brew. I thought we were finally going to be rewarded for the years of patience we've had with Jalen Smith. But it's just more of the same, man. He's banged up. The numbers don't really pop. I don't know. Jalen Smith should be really good right now, but I don't trust him.
The league winner stuff that was going on out there with him was tough. He might come back and be a top 75 guy on a nightly basis. Like, it's not outside of the realm of possibility, but fool me once, fool me 5 times, fool me 10 times. Though I don't want to say I got fooled the 4th or the 5th time. I think like the 2nd or the 3rd time I was done. And
Nick Richards and Gershon Yabusele being there really makes Jalen Smith tough to rely on. I mean, they have 3 bigs, and Nick Richards could end up being the best one out of all of them.
I thought, and I take the opposite view of that. I think that that keeps them from burning Jalen Smith to the ground. And I think people, when they were saying league winner, they were like, okay, Jalen Smith's going to play 35 minutes a night, and we're going to get all the good stats, and it's just going to be this great thing. And I'm like, has this guy ever made it, 23 minutes a game in a season and made it work, injury wise? It just hasn't happened. So, but this team in general is so spicy. I mean, you got Billy Donovan talking about letting Rob Dillingham do what he wants right now. And just openly talking about, he's going to go into the lane. He's going to take a shot he shouldn't take. And we're going to try to train it out of him. And that will only last for the last couple games. They're not going to bring Josh Giddey in and let Rob Dillingham run up and down the court and uncork shots. So you got a core piece coming in and another piece in Trey Jones that's been a core piece all season. And you got Jaden Ivey, who they seem to like a lot. You get Colin Sexton in there, who coaches love because he's a nut job and, will just do anything out there to win. And I know, right? It's just the lineup potential, and they're going to play small. Oh, and your guy, Modest Baselis, is going to be prioritized. So just feels like a lot of different possibilities. But to get to the streamer piece of this, I would say I kind of like if we consider that Giddey is going to do whatever Giddey's going to do, I kind of like Trey Jones if he was dropped, and then maybe Jalen Smith to get back on the right side of the ledger in this first game back. Jaden Ivey third after that. And kind of cleaning some stuff up here. We were talking about Dominic Barlow earlier, and Tristan Vukcevic was brought up, for the 3 games. He's not catching a quality day there like these guys are. But who do you like best as an ad right now? Jay Huff might be available out there. Reed Shepherd's, had been dropped in certain spots. I was not letting people do that, but he's picked up the pace in the last couple of days. Like there's a lot of spicy pickups that people got to prioritize right now. Who do you like out of anybody that we've talked about here in this first group, and or Barlow, Vukcevic, pardon me, Jay Huff, Reed Shepherd? Who do you like?
Well, I think Vukcevic is the must get guy right now with this Alex Sarr news, and maybe I think last night when Washington played, they didn't even play any bigs. It was all small forwards and guards. And I don't think they want to do that the rest of the way. Vooch was sick, so he didn't play. So I think Vukcevic is my top priority right now. And then, like I said earlier, Nolan Traore is a priority for me as far as these teams we just talked about.
Would you take those guys over like Reed Shepherd right now?
No, I think Reed Shepherd should be rostered. I was on the verge of letting go, but I'm glad I stuck with Reed Shepherd. So out of this list, I would say Grayson Allen is probably number one.
Yeah, because he's got the top 75 if he's on the floor, kind of wrapped up.
Barlow's probably number two. And then, but if we're looking at just the random teams like we talked about with three
would
games,
you have Vukcevic over Barlow?
Yeah, I think I would.
So you'd go Grayson, Vukcevic. You go Reed above Vukcevic?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so Grayson Allen, Reed Shepherd, Vukcevic, Barlow. Where Jay Huff would be after Barlow, I presume?
Jay Huff is right. I mean, he might be before Barlow. I like the fact that Pacers are just blatantly resting their starters every other game now.
And Jay Huff just seems to be a guy that's going to be a part of all of that, like 25 minutes a game. It's getting more minutes even.
Well,
like, yeah, I think of course it's the threes and the blocks.
Until he plays 3 minutes one night and 4 the next randomly, and then goes back up to 25. But yeah,
we haven't seen that in a bit. But yeah, your ranking is kind of where I have it as well, in terms of your order of operations there. And somebody like Jalen Smith, like it sounds like he would be like the last guy on this list almost.
He's down there.
Yeah, he's down there. All right. Let's get to the teams that are playing on Thursday and Saturday. So catching some quality games action here. So we've got the Pistons, Spurs, Kings, and Rockets. Let's start with the Pistons, Doc. I mean, it's a given that Paul Reed is on rosters, right? Like we don't have to tell folks to go out and add Paul Reed because he's going to get at least another game, and he's going to get 6 more games without Isaiah Stewart. So,
well, I said on the show the other day that Paul Reed always lets me down. Paul Reed went off in his last game, had a bunch of blocks. He's good. He should be rostered until Jalen Durden comes back, and maybe even after that. Tobias Harris is probably worth it because of the suspensions as well. And then our guy Dennis Jenkins, I think you just have to keep an eye on him. If you need threes and you don't want to mess with Sam Merrill, I think Duncan Robinson works. I feel like Dennis Jenkins, Detroit's not going to change up what they do that much, but they might start resting guys because they've got a lead in the East. And when that happens, we could get a healthy dose of Dennis Jenkins, but Jenkins is playing 25 minutes anyway.
He's just not getting the shots right now. And that's just a Cade Cunningham thing. And then you've got 6 other guys on the roster that are kind of taking like 8 shots a game. And it's not prioritized that Dennis Jenkins gets like, say, 13 shots a game, at least right now. He's slowed down since the time off and getting signed, and then this break, and then you got the drama and all the things. So hopefully we'll see a little bit better stat profile for Dennis Jenkins on the other side of the break, because usually he's a stat getter. I agree wholeheartedly with everything you said there, Doc. Let's get to the Spurs. How are you prioritizing them?
I mean, how do you rank these guys? Dylan Harper, Keldon Johnson, Julian Shemppenny, Harry Barnes. I think I'm going to rank them. Dylan Harper, Keldon Johnson. I like the order that our sheet is already in. So Dylan Harper, Keldon Johnson, Julian Shemppenny, Harry Barnes. And then, Brew, I know you're a Luke Cornett guy.
Thank you for noticing.
What do you are you still messing with him?
Not right now. And I don't think there's enough, yeah, it's a quality game you're getting here, out of this 2-game slate, but it's just not enough. There's not enough meat to the bone for, I think, any of these names, because I think they're going to come back in from the break and start prioritizing De'Aaron Fox. At least that's my personal hope, because I got a lot of Fox across my teams here. But if I had to guess, if they do that, then I think it's Julian Champagny, because I feel like he's the connector. He's the 3-point shooter that they like to have out there. Does a little bit of everything. He doesn't take from, the usage pie, and Dylan Harper does, and Keldon Johnson tries to. I just don't think there's enough shots to go around for these guys. I would probably not go there for this. They wouldn't be on my list, but there would be some Sacramento Kings on my list. Doc, would you take a chance on any of these Kings here?
I wrote about Devin Carter in today's column. I'm kind of digging what he's doing, and the fact that the Kings are blatantly what?
It's glorious what Devin Carter's doing out there. It's not good basketball, but it is what it is.
I thought maybe I said his name wrong, but I did not. He's been good, man. Look at Devin Carter's game log, and you'll see that he's kind of been balling. I think Devin Carter is kind of a must-add guy right now. I mean, the Kings are benching everyone.
I don't know if you can see me on the video. For those of you in the pod, you're not going to get.
You look like you're
the deepest breath. Like, it's like, oh my god, I think he's right. Like, this is just hurting my insides. Like, it's terrible basketball. And then Meek Clifford, he went 1 for 15 in this last game.
But the fact he got 15 shots is amazing.
It's so great. Oh, but Dylan Cardwell is the guy, right? Like, come on. Like, we're burying the lead here.
I'm more fired up about Devin Carter right now.
Yeah, because I get it. He puts up the PRA and
he's popping. He's popping.
He is popping.
And I'm a head-to-head guy, and he looks good in head-to-head, where Cardwell's more.
He's a roto guy, kind of, though. I mean, if he's going to pop off with a couple, 2 or 3 defensive stats per game, he's an all-around player in fantasy leagues. And he got 10 rebounds in this last game. He had 5 fouls the entire time. It's, he's just going to have fun out there. And then you get Keegan Murray. I mean, like, is Keegan Murray on the waiver wire in anybody's league right now? I'm so curious. Like,
I've got questions about him.
Yeah, he's not on the wire in my leagues, but his situation is just so hard to read, because on one hand, like, you think they're tanking, so get Keegan Murray out of their stat. That's just kind of top of the line here. But believe it or not, for a guy that's played a ton of NBA minutes, he hasn't been developed at all by the Kings. Like, he's never had a team kind of where he's a first or second scorer on it. They've not had any extended time where they've run that action for him in, what is his 3rd, 4th season now? Like, he's got to get that development. If you're the Kings and you don't do that this season, you are a god-awful organization that needs to sell. And it might not have anything to do with Keegan Murray either.
Dude, this list of streamers in Sacramento is the most exciting thing I've seen today. And I'm sitting here asking myself, how many of these guys are must roster players?
How many are there?
I think Devin Carter might be a must roster guy. He's close. Dylan Cardwell, according to you,
he's a hardcore must roster player. Yes. Run, don't walk. Keegan Murray. I'm curious. Murray. Like, I have a ton of Keegan Murray, and I'm going, why am I doing this? Like, what's going on? What's my problem? Why? And because he had all those defensive stats when he got back last time, and then he could just be dropped into the ether, and it's like, oh, hey, we're actually going to do the smart thing. We'll play Keegan Murray with all these kids, and Keegan, you could be the number 1 guy, and let's just see what you got, man. And he'll pop off with top 50 numbers, and that's why you hold Keegan Murray. I guess you take a chance on Keegan Murray, and if you can stream him when he gets back, you got to get the green light that he's actually playing. But heck, I wouldn't mind, he's an ad in my book. You got to see what's going to happen on the other side of the break.
All right. And then what about Maxime Reynaud?
He had the almost 2020 game, and then he had a crapper in the last one.
And that's how it's going to go for him. Are we going to see Domantas Sabonis?
My over-under for Domantas Sabonis games is like 5 right now.
So, and I wouldn't bet on it. Would you call Reynaud a must roster?
It's so freaking close.
Yeah,
I think honestly,
right
yes. In a 12-team format, yes, because I just think he's going to play every night. It's not like they can like bench him and like, play somebody behind him and get even worse. Like he's just going to get stats. He's just going to get stats. It's going to be inconsistent, but he'll get him.
Nick Clifford, I don't think is a must roster player, but what he is a 3-game prime day streamer bonanza. Like any guy that shoots it 15 times in one game, that's kind of a no name. Sign me up.
If you're in a whack fantasy league that counts field goal percentage, I think Nick Clifford is great. But I mean, all kidding aside, like he doesn't do enough across the stat set. The shooting is going to be bad. They're going to empower him to take some crazy shots. DeAndre Hunter, I don't think he's going to play much down the stretch for this team. So I think you're basically looking at Cardwell must roster. If you want to call Cardwell must roster, if you want to call Carter a must roster, I will get behind it. I just plug my nose and do it. Keegan Murray is must roster, I think, and Maxime Reynaud, I believe, in a 12-team format.
Pretty close, yeah.
I think he's there. Let's get to the Rockets.
That's a great streaming team, man.
As long as they don't play Russell Westbrook.
Like we look at the the Orlando Magic. It's like there's no one here.
I'm going to reach out to that one fan that got into the shouting match with Zach LaVine, and I'm going to see if he can just start shouting at the entire veteran crew, so they get really mad and they just decide to leave, and we get the kids out there in Sacramento, which is more exciting and better for the tank and better for fantasy leagues. It's just
what about the Rockets, Drew?
Well, I like Reed Shepherd as a must-roster player, and I don't think outside of maybe Clint Capella, if you need big man stats, and it's got to be pretty desperate, I don't think there's a stream in the bunch here. What do you think?
I think Tari Eason, given his in and out of the lineup,
might be
all the time. I might be on the waiver wire, and he might be playing that one night. I think he's a possibility. But I'm with you. Reed Shepherd should not be available to stream, and if he is, go pick him up.
We saw the shooting regression kick in his last game, which was massive, and it's basically my message to everybody: shooting regression plus them turning it over to him down the stretch as they rest other guys. That's a recipe for fantasy domination. Let's get to the Friday, Saturday teams. You got Memphis, Miami, New Orleans. Let's get to the Memphis Grizzlies, Doc. Where do you start?
Dude, how over under on how many minutes this takes?
Oh boy, I'll go 5 minutes. I'm looking at the clock. 5 minutes. Andre's gonna kill us.
Cedric Coward, Jalen Wells, G.G. Jackson, KCP, Cam Spencer, Taylor Hendricks are all guys who can be streamed. I'm gonna add Scottie Pippen to that list. I'm going to add Ty Jerome to that list just in case he's available in a league. But, I mean, this is a classic Grizzlies mess where there's just a million guys at the end of the depth chart who are suddenly at the front of the depth chart, and they're going to be allowed to do whatever they want.
Interestingly, Walter Clayton's been missing games with calf injury stuff, and I wonder if he's on ice for the rest of the year, but that doesn't even help the logjam that's been created here. Everybody's playing 24 minutes a game right now. Coward had a knee thing. We needed the update on Coward. If Jaw somehow magically comes back, this would be hilarious, but let's just assume he's out for like the rest of the year. Coward, G.G. Jackson, and Cam Spencer kind of rise to the top of this thing. If Santi Aldama's not playing, Olivier Maxence Prosper is on the radar officially. Taylor Hendricks a cut below because I feel like Hendricks just disappears, and Prosper, when given the opportunity, is producing. And so I would take Prosper over Hendricks, though that might not work out for me. But the G.G. Jackson stuff, he finally had a really big game before the break, and I think that sort of sealed his must-roster status going forward. Like, it might not even been a question prior to that, just with the way things were shaping up. But it just feels like he's quicker. And they have a lot of guys that are connectors and passers. Like Cam Spencer has 8 or 9 assists every single night, but he shoots the ball like 6 times sometimes or 8 times. If he doesn't make his shots, he has a dog line. He had a dog line in the last game. I believe that makes him 4 great lines and 3 dog lines, but still getting you assists. But they got all these guys that pass, and they don't got a lot of guys that finish. Well, GG Jackson's a finisher. So I think that puts him on an island on this team and makes him one of their better players. So Coward not getting you defensive stats, and if he's dinged up, that pushes him down the list. So I almost like it'd be curious when I put my final B150 ranks out here tomorrow if I have Cam Spencer over GG Jackson, because Cam's been struggling and GG Jackson's got the up arrow next to his name. And in terms of a stream, I think I would go GG Cam Spencer, then if healthy, Cedric Coward, and I might even go Jalen Wells over Cedric Coward at this point. And they got to get KCP out of there. He's taking bad shots. I don't think he's adding all that much value, and he's taking a ton of minutes as well. And maybe they like him for his veteran leadership, but it just doesn't seem like it's worth the hassle. All right, we did that in like 4 minutes, Doc.
I have breaking news. I was just informed that my on the bowling machine at Johnny B's, I had the high score of 238, I think it was, and I just got notified that my score got broken. My high score got broken, so my name is no longer at the top, and that is not right. As soon as we're done here, I'm going straight over there and trying to.
Yeah, I was going to say you need to start a training montage and take what's yours, Doc. Let's get to the Miami Heat. Who do you like there for the Friday-Saturday swing?
I don't see my boy. I'm gonna have to do this without seeing her down. Kasparis.
So far, so good.
Dude.
You got it, dude. I have faith. I believe in you.
Kanu.
No, you don't got
it. Yaku.
You do got it.
Something.
Jonas.
Ugh.
Bravo, sir. You work through your issues live on air. I love it.
I've got him over Davion Mitchell. So the list we have in front of us is Pella Larson, Davion Mitchell, Jaime Jaquez, Drew Smith, and Simone Fontecchio. I'm adding Yakuchonis to that list. And I would rank these guys. Jaquez, number 1. Yakuchonis, number 2. Larson, if he's healthy and playing, number 3. And then Davion Mitchell, number 4.
Who's your first one?
Jaime Jaquez.
Okay, got it. Yeah, Jaquez he's been crushing it lately. And Yakuchonis, especially if others are injured, it feels like they're prioritizing him a little bit. And Davion maybe taking a little bit of a backseat for that look-see. I think as we get to playoff time, Davion Mitchell's stock will continue to rise. And then Pella, if he is healthy and anybody else is out, it seems like he's been taking the reins and running with it. All right, let's get to the Pelicans, who also play Friday, Saturday. So when we get to the Pelicans, Doc, who do you like there?
I don't love it. If Herb Jones is available, I'd stream him all day. Jeremiah Fears, I know
he's picked up the pace. I mean,
feeling him right now.
Yeah. I'm not an overall fan of the stat set, but if he's going to pick up the pace and do multiple things, like get 10 rebounds like he did the other night, hey.
Yeah, those are the two guys that I'm kind of feeling.
I would have Fears over Herbert Jones here. Just Herbert's been too inconsistent, and I would rather have the guy that's got more spunk in the form of Jeremiah Fears. Let's get to the Thursday, Friday, Sunday teams here. So not the quality games, but you get the 3 games is what happens here. So you got the Pacers, Hornets, Nuggets, Hawks, Nets, Clippers, Cavs, and Wizards. So let's get into the Pacers here. Who do you like, Doc?
It's a good one, man. They're tanking, they're resting guys. There's lots here. Jarris Walker, number 1. Jay Huff, number 2. Man, I want to say Quentin Jackson, but he's only played one game a week for 3 weeks.
We had the big one. Then he got outplayed by Ethan Thompson as far as stats go.
Dude, he played on a Tuesday, and then he played on a Tuesday, and then he played on a Wednesday. Like, he's only played one
game. He's got the two-way. Both of them, Ethan and Quentin, both have two-way contracts that hopefully we'll get news on during the break, which would be big.
Ben Shepherd and Micah Potter are both interesting. I think Potter had a big game yesterday. So I'm going to go Jarris Walker 1, Jay Huff 2, Ben Shepherd 3, Micah Potter 4, and Quentin Jackson 5.
You're boring. That's boring.
Kobe Brown 6.
That's boring. Give me Jarris Walker 1, just to keep it spicy. I think there's a real chance Jay Huff outproduces Jarris Walker the rest of the way. But let's go Jarris Walker 1. He's been hitting his shots. Give him some credit. He got all of his misses out early in the season. A lot of misses, I might add, early in the season. And Jay Huff has that, like, is he going to play or is he not going to play thing going on. Jarris Walker feels like he's going to be out there. And then I'll take Quentin Jackson 3, Ethan Thompson 4. And then the low and slow guys, Ben Shepherd and Micah Potter, they're playing. They're getting minutes. It's not a question of if they're on the floor. They're on the floor. I just don't see them rising up the way I like Quentin.
Well, Jackson. I don't know how you're going to stream a guy for 3 games if he's only going to play 1.
I think also all kid and point noted. And also as you guys are approaching these questions, just keep an eye on the news, because I do think you'll get an announcement that Quentin Jackson, I don't know about Ethan Thompson. I just feel like Quentin Jackson's been around and he's going to be a part of their plans going forward. But both could get full deals, and we'll see what happens next. Let's get to Charlotte, where this team is going for it. Who do you like, Doc?
Well, you got Kalkbrenner, who's filling in for Diabate.
He really puts the L in Kalk.
Kalkbrenner.
And you texted me the other night and said he was having a bad game. He got what, 2 steals, 2 blocks, just a low grade defensive stat night.
It's head-to-head garbage. It's Roto. It's fine gold. For Roto. Yeah, it's fine for
not
Roto.
Gold. I don't want to go over. I don't want to get over the skis, but let's
head-to-head. It's just come on, Cal. Pop. He did play 25 minutes.
He had 25 minutes in that game. I'm glad we're actually talking about this, because I don't know if we hit it in the shows yesterday. But basically, so he had some foul trouble, but I don't think it contributed so much to his minutes being down. And maybe he would have had like 26 minutes instead of 24.
He had 2 very early fouls, and they pulled him after like 4 minutes.
Yep. And basically, so that kind of like it didn't answer any questions for me. Like, if he had only played 18 minutes, I'd be like, okay, maybe he's still hurt. Maybe he's got the elbow thing. Maybe they don't want to play him. He got just enough minutes for me to go, is he healthy? I guess he is, because he got 24, maybe would have had 26 minutes, and that's okay. If he was really healthy, I would like to see him play 28, 29, 30 minutes with no Moussa Diabate as he was serving the first game of his suspension. But he's a good streamer here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I like Calc, and I think
he might be one of the better streamers. Grant Williams, yeah. I mean, they're going to be without Diabate for these 3 games. Again, these teams that we're rattling off, we got the Pacers that we just talked about, the Hornets, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more teams that play Thursday, Friday, Sunday. This is a lot of games. It's 3 games. Ryan Kalkbrenner is going to play these games without Moussa Diabate. I mean, to me, he feels like one of the better streamers on the board. And then Grant Williams,
he is.
He's got to produce, right? Like some low-end production from Grant Williams feels like it could be useful for somebody out there in a 14-team league.
What did Grant do? Did Grant Williams last night? He would have had a good game, man. He was 1 for 9 shooting, and he had 7 points. He was 0 for 6 from downtown, and he had 5 assists and 8 boards and a block. So Grant Williams, 32 minutes, 9 shots. I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to aggregate over the 3 games, and you might, in a deep league setting, be able to hang with that. Let's get to the Denver Nuggets, Doc. Who do you like there?
No one really. I'm always intrigued by Bruce Brown and Tim Hardaway. I could see streaming them if I just was looking for a warm body and I needed games, but I don't see a lot in Denver that looks enticing. And if Spencer Jones gets healthy, maybe he does something, but I'm not holding my breath.
I don't think anybody on this list. I mean, maybe Tim Hardaway Jr. could be something, but I'm not even excited there. Let's get to the Atlanta Hawks. Also a little bit light, but there's some names. Which one are you going to pick?
None of them. Zachary Risache, maybe.
I thought it's funny. Corey Kispert could be the name. You always go to Corey Kispert, and you didn't go there. You didn't go Jock Landale. You didn't go Jonathan Kuminga. That says something right there. Jock Landale would be the one I would take a chance on in this group, because theoretically we saw a big game right when he got there, and he's done this in Memphis a few times. I would take a chance if you need a center that shoots some threes, is a little light on the defensive stats, but you can get some points, some boards, and maybe a pop game in there, but probably about in the middle of the pack at best of all the guys that we've talked about in this range here. Let's get to the
Hawks. The Hawks are not a good streaming situation. Like they've got their guys and they're all rostered in fantasy, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and they'll get the rest. They've been, guys have been banged up, but they'll get the rest during the break.
If Okongwu sits, you want Landale in your lineup for sure.
Yeah, and he's back, but I think they come back healthy after the break, and then we'll start to see what direction they want to go if they're actually going to compete for the play-in and all that. And then let's get to the Brooklyn Nets, because
next? Oh god,
yeah, it's the Brooklyn Nets here. It's a free for all, but at least Nolan Traore, your guy, has kind of established himself, and we called him a must-roster player in 12-team format. So I guess he's at the top of this list, right, Doc?
Well, Traore got my nod, my vote, seal of approval last night when he started alongside Igor Joman. If he had come off the bench in that game, I wouldn't be as hyped about Traore, but there's a decent chance Traore plays a ton of minutes the rest of the way. And he's good. He had 13 points, 13 assists the other night. He was good last night. I'm kind of fired up about Traore, if you can't tell. And then, Brew, how do you rank some of these guys? It's like, do you start with Traore number one, and then are you going Danny Wolf, Day'Ron Sharpe, or Noah Clowney after that?
I'm so confused on Day'Ron Sharpe. Like, this guy, every time I'm about to cut him in my 200 player formats, which is really where he's best served. Like, I don't think in a 12-team league, Day'Ron Sharpe is paying the bills for you. In this 3 games in 4 nights kind of a deal, he gives you a chance, and maybe he plays 20 times 3 minutes, and maybe 1 out of the 3 games he reaches up and has a 19 and 14 game or whatever he had on Wednesday. But here's the thing. I think, we really got to watch Adam Silver when we get into the All-Star break. If he comes in fire and brimstone, like we're going after teams who are tanking and blah, 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 maybe some of the dynamics change for some of these squads. But if not fire and brimstone and an actual, some teeth to that, it's business as usual. I think Brooklyn comes back, and you see somebody like Nick Claxton in the 3 and 4 nights. He misses the middle game. So in the first game, you get everybody there. Second game, he's taking a night off. And in that next game, he's back. Okay, I'm guessing, right? So your Day'Ron Sharpes and your Danny Wolfs are kind of subject to that a little bit, though both of them operate in their own lane a lot. Like, it doesn't matter what's happening with Nick Claxton. So they, on this list, it's like I kind of got like tiers of positional, allocations here. It's like, okay, Traore, you just rose to the threshold, and we got to check it out because you might actually be something the rest of the year. Then it's like, okay, I got my 2 bigs. Okay, I'll take Day'Ron Sharpe because I think you're more consistently playing, but Danny Wolf, I actually kind of like your stats set a little bit more. Maybe, not sure if I even believe in that, but those 2 are available there for streaming needs. Then you get your Clowney and Zaire Williams division, if you will. And then I think your Joman is a cut or 3 beneath Nolan Traore, because Traore might play every night. That's the only reason he's at that level. And Joman is, he takes games off as they injury manage him, and also, doesn't get you defensive stats. He gets you PRA and 3s. So it's just this mess of a situation. And I would prioritize, probably, if you need upside, Wolf over Sharpe. If you need low and slow, Sharpe over Wolf. Clowney over Zaire, because Zaire is way more inconsistent than Clowney. Both of them have been showing up lately, and just what a mess. Let's get out of there. Let's get to the Clippers, Doc. Who do you like?
I'm done with Yannick Conan Niederhauser for now. I would stream Brooke Lopez. I would definitely stream Chris Dunn. And I'm still not all the way out on Jordan Miller. But
I think he's going to show up again. in this season. I just right now, like Derek Jones had a bad night, and then last night was actually kind of good. Chris Dunn's been pretty consistent. Brook Lopez had a good night finally. So I don't know that changes Brook Lopez's calculus at all, but I would take Brook probably just for the potential upside as a streamer here. But this team's going to have to like go into the break and be like, hey, we got to get Brook Lopez more involved. It's got to actually be a talking point that they get to for Brook Lopez to break through here, because otherwise it's way too inconsistent. It's 6 field goal attempts, and if he goes 1 for 6, he tanks you. If he goes 3 for 6, he's kind of a late round guy at that level of shooting and production. If he's shooting 12 a game, and 10 of them are 3-pointers, well, you got the pretty good chance to get two 3-pointers a night. And that with the steals and the blocks and the points and the small amounts of boards he gets will make him more of a top 100 guy. I think if he could be a top 100 guy, he's way more interesting than if he's going to be a top 125 guy. And but I would stream him over Chris Dunn and Derek Jones because there is that potential that he might go off. Do you see it any other way, Doc?
No, I like it.
Nice. All right, let's get to the Cavs. They've actually got some players that are streamable here. Who do you like?
Yeah, back to the Clippers real quick. Andre asked if Brook Lopez should be rostered. I don't know that he should. I mean, he's getting the minutes. I guess he should. I guess he's more than a streamer, but barely. Cavaliers. They have Sam Merrill. They have Jalen Tyson. They have Dean Wade. They have Keon Ellis. They have Dennis Schroeder. Max Strus. Those are all serviceable names at times. Sam Merrill's coming off a monster game when he had 9 3-pointers and 32 points. Jalen Tyson is kind of getting squeezed right now, a little bit like Jordan Miller, but I still like Jalen Tyson a lot. So, and I've kind of written off Dennis Schroeder since he got to the Cavs. Especially when Darius Garland gets back, it's going to be bad for Schroeder. It's already bad for Schroeder, but
you'd have to need some pretty specific, assists and points for Schroeder at this point.
Merrill and Tyson are the two guys I really want to stream.
Look, Tyson is if he's not a must roster guy because, James Harden is stealing his lunch, then he's an excellent streamer because he's going to be out there and he's going to have a pop game. You'll have, I think, a pop game 1 out of every 3 games going forward. And it's just the devil's in the details. Can he be a 125? Can he be a 100? Is he going to be a 140? It's like kind of as low as I'll go with Jalen Tyson. And that's great for streaming value, and you can trust it. So I like him above the rest. And I actually don't think I would have, especially with such a kind of a streamable section of the schedule where we're really just trying to max out games played on so many different guys. I think a lot of these guys don't make the cut, and I don't think anybody other than Jalen Tyson makes the cut here. All right, let's get to a spicy team that everybody wants to hear about, the Washington Wizards. Doc, let's go.
They are spicy, man. Tristan Vukcevic filling in for Alex Sarr for 2 weeks, must-add player in my opinion. And then you've got Justin Champagnie, pretty damn close to it as well. You've got Bilal Coulibaly, who, if he's healthy, puts up fun fantasy numbers. You got Bub Carrington, who's still playing a ton of minutes for them and balling. And then you've got Trey Johnson. And with a smidge of Will Riley thrown in occasionally, but lots of options in Washington.
Yeah, Will Riley's kind of pooped out a bit, even had a lot of minutes and didn't produce in the last game. Trey Johnson got back on the floor. That was good for him. Bilal Coulibaly is kind of your safe play here. I just don't see enough stat upside. He's not crossing that top 100 very, very often at all. I don't even know if he's done it that much, maybe a couple games here and there. More of a safe late 125 to 150 play. And so Vukcevic on just pure upside alone, I would have over Justin Champagnie in a stream or even in a gotta pick one kind of a situation. Because if Sarr's out and Vukcevic is going to go for 28, 29 minutes per game down the stretch, I think what you're going to see out of Vukcevic is top 75 numbers, maybe even top 60 numbers for him down the stretch. And it's safer somehow than the Champagnie stuff. Vukcevic in and out of the lineup a lot this season is a little uncomfortable. A lot of it's been illness and just small stuff. And just that's only if Alexander Sarr is somehow out of this equation the rest of the season. With Champagny, I just feel like he's gonna be a top 75 guy the rest of the way. I feel like it's not not subject to very much. I think his lane is pretty much carved out. So I would have those two, then Trey Johnson, and then Bob Carrington after that. All right, so that wraps up this upcoming the first after the All-Star break segment. Let's get to the week after that. So we've talked about like half the NBA, if not 3/4 of the NBA already here in this show. So a lot of times I'm going to tell you about teams that have an advantage, and I'll just say, hey, go listen to what we just talked about with them. We have 14 teams with 4 games. We have 14 teams with 3 games and 2 teams with 2 games. That's the Clippers and the Suns. So you'll probably in a weekly roster kind of a situation, weekly settings where you set your roster at the beginning of the week, you'll probably play Kawhi Leonard and that's it. For the Clippers and for the Suns, maybe that would be a Devin Booker, probably end of list at that point in time that you would consider playing with 2 games. Otherwise, it helps their injury situations. Everybody can kind of just get healthy during that time. Teams with back-to-back, there's 14 of them. I don't know that it's worth getting into it. I'm just kind of scanning the list right now and checking myself as I'm talking, but I don't know that there's anything in there.
Are the 76ers on that list?
They are not. There are 16 teams without back-to-backs, and the 76ers are on that list. So that will help Joel Embiid, and they're going to get into a pretty busy part of their schedule. So we're going to see with him taking 2 games off before the break, if he can get back and into a rhythm over there. We got low traffic days of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So despite a pretty healthy amount of games played, you got half the league with 4 games. This is a pretty interesting streaming week because you do have so many low traffic days, and the high volume days are Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, 11, 10, and 11 games respectively. So the best schedules belong to the Rockets. We talked about them earlier in the episode. They play Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So that Reed Shepherd or bust situation, if Reed's available, I highly recommend that you make that change right now. Make sure that he's rostered. But the Grizzlies also play Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. We spoke about those guys. The Kings and the Spurs play Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Also spoke about both of those teams. So really, these are the cream of the crop schedules for the upcoming week following the All-Star break week. Then we get to the Bucks, Celtics, Cavs, Thunder, foursome here, and they play Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Now, we haven't really taken on the Bucks yet, but it's looking a little bleak there. Is there anybody you like from a streaming perspective?
No, it is bleak. However, tonight, or I don't know when, last night, I rolled with Usman Jang and Cam Thomas, who Usman Jang is interesting. I say keep an eye on that guy. Outside of him, AJ Green, I'm intrigued by, and I've been telling people to cut Bobby Portis. So if he shows up on your waiver wire and you think he can help your team, have at it. But he's been pretty rough. But very intrigued by Usman Jang all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think Jang's got serious intrigue, and I would totally stream him unless we get news that Giannis is just back. Like that would be the only way. I actually like, AJ Green's been pretty good, and I would take Jang over Green just because of this what if factor. Every time I've watched Usman Jang, I'm like, man, what if that guy got a bad team to work with and just run? He would be interesting in fantasy leagues, and he's got a bad team to work with. So we'll see what happens next there. The Celtics play Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. So a healthy chunk of games there toward the Tuesday through Sunday corridor. Who do you like, Doc?
Well, we Neemias Queta. Yes.
The connection glitched out there, but you.
I said, are we still on Neemias Queta?
Yeah, I think here's the thing. I think Vucevic had a game against his old team, and that prioritized his scoring in that game. And Queta had his second bad game in a 3-game span since the deadline. And the game before that was a monster. So with Cada, I brought him into a cuttable status, and it's certainly in 12-team leagues. I don't know about 14-team or 200-player formats. It's really hard to find a guy that's going to play the 20 minutes and get you some top 150 value. Like, I just don't. I don't want to write Cada all the way off, but when you're staring at all these upside guys that we've been talking about all episode long, I can't have you hold him, just to miss out on all those other players. So. But he's, as far as a streamer goes, yeah, by all means.
Streamer goes, Kate is good. Sam Hauser, I think, is a great streamer. And Baylor Shireman is quietly playing well. Now, Jason Tatum could come back and ruin Baylor Shireman, but until that happens, I'm cool with Shireman.
There was even a Jordan Walsh game the other day, but I will not fall for that one again. The Cavs also play Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. We just covered them a few minutes ago. So kind of choose your options wisely amongst these groups. Now on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, we get the Nuggets, and maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the Thunder are in that group as well. Now, we have talked about the Nuggets and that we don't like any of their streamers, and the Thunder, I'm thinking might be a typo, but I'm not 100% sure. So let's kind of hold them off for a second here. But on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday, you're catching some quality days for the Warriors and the Raptors. We haven't talked about either of these teams. Doc, who do you like from the Warriors?
Well, I don't think we talked about the Thunder. I think the Thunder belong there. They just don't have the names just aren't there, or should we wait on that?
Yeah, let me get a schedule out here because did not.
So we're talking Warriors, right?
Warriors. Go with the Warriors now.
DeAnthony Melton is borderline must roster at this point. I really like what he's doing. I'm into Moses Moody right now. I'm into Brandon Podziemski, Al Horford. If they're not playing back-to-backs, he's been playing a little bit more lately. Good streamer if he's playing. And then Guy Santos has been interesting. And Brew, I know you're kind of a Pat Spencer guy right now.
Yeah, Pat Spencer has established himself as a leader within this team. He's earned it. They have this group, they actually have a lot of respect within the group. Hell, Stephen Curry, actually, it seems like he likes Jonathan Kuminga stepping up for him after the report that one of Kuminga's family members stealing too much food from the room. That was hilarious. And Steph's like, oh no, I'm not going to let you go down like that. But Pat Spencer is in the crew. They like him a lot. And it kind of complicates this, Moody, Melton, Podziemski group, because it adds another person there. And I do think that all of them, Spencer included, when Steph is back and Kristaps Porzingis is being prioritized, I think this entire group might be just streamers only. I know that we've had Melton and Podziemski, and even Moody's been a hot ad because he's been red hot lately. I just think that all these guys, when they get back to full strength, I think they are going to, I think they're going to be, unfortunately, 125 to 175 guys.
Well, right now, the Warriors are a great streaming team for this All-Star break time frame. And then what about Will Richard? Can you trust him at all?
No, unfortunately. Like the player, can't trust him in a streaming situation even. But keep an eye on him in future seasons. And as far as that Thunder schedule goes, Doc, they were Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. So they belong with the group that we were speaking about prior to getting into the Warriors. They play those 4 days. And who do you like on the Thunder, Doc?
Cason. Can I get this name right? Cason Wallace.
Yes, you can.
Thank God.
9 feet tall, Thunderbolts of Lightning.
Cason Wallace, Aaron Wiggins, Jalen Williams, the other one, Isaiah Joe, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso. If AJ Mitchell gets healthy, you can stream so many Thunder players. It's kind of fun. And Aaron Wiggins and Jalen Williams and Cason Wallace are all kind of balling right now. The real Jalen Williams is hurt. SGA is out. AJ,
and we don't know on Jalen if he'll be back or not, but it seems like it's very possible.
It's
by the time this week, I'll say this, by the time this week hits that we're talking about, this Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. By the time this week comes, I kind of feel like Jalen Williams will be back, but they'll be kid gloving it. He might not be in the back-to-back.
I don't think he will be.
And it might not be there. Yeah. And it almost doesn't matter even if he is, because these guys produce. Like AJ Mitchell, if he's back, he produces. Case and Wallace, if you're streaming for steals, you're getting them. And if all those guys are out, obviously he could be more than that. Aaron Wiggins goes off all the time with a full strength roster. There's options, man. There are options. I would probably prioritize AJ Mitchell. I would prioritize Aaron Wiggins in this group. If all these guys are not in, I think Jared McCain is sort of like if AJ Mitchell's the sixth man, and then I think Jared McCain's like the seventh man, in this whole equation. Maybe that metaphor doesn't work because you got other guys like Wiggins and all the aforementioned, but as a designated PRA guy, I think that's Jared McCain in many ways. If you have injuries ahead of him, it's a target rich environment. Mitchell, Wiggins, Wallace, McCain. Oh, Jalen Williams has got to be somewhere up there. Jalen Williams might actually be the top of that list, depending on what's going on with the big man slots. I'll stick him above Case and Wallace and just assume this team's relatively healthy.
Come on, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm going to do that. That's what I just did.
You're nuts.
Okay, so we got the Warriors who played Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and then the Raptors play Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, catching some quality action here. Anybody you like, Doc?
I'm fully off the Colin Murray Boyles train. He got hurt again. I don't like that. Pirtle is back. Jakob Pirtle is back.
My guy.
CMB's got hurt, and he had a great run. It was fun, but I think it's over.
Sandro Mamukelashvili played 20 minutes in the first game with Jakob Pirtle back. His stat line really suffered, and it would be tempting to say, okay, that's the set wave or the first thing to happen to make it look like he might not make it in standard leagues. But the entire box score was down, and that to me tells me you're bringing a new player in, and it's a little bit messy, and you had a bad game. And I don't want to rule him out for standard league value the rest of the way. If he's available as a streamer, that is an excellent streaming option. I would say he moves to toward the top of a lot of the lists here. With just the 3 games, that's going to be taken into consideration here, but a lot of those are quality games. And so he'd be maybe at the top third of the list of guys that we've talked about here. All right, let's get to the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday group of teams, and that's actually the last group here that we're going to talk about today. It's the Pelicans, it's the Blazers, it's the Lakers. So we already talked about the Pelicans. We have not talked about the Blazers. Not typically a great streaming team, though a couple names are standing out here. Doc, who do you like?
If Toumani Camara was dropped in your league, I think he is excellent.
He's on a heater right now.
Jeremy Grant can be used in a pinch. Scoot Henderson's been playing, but he's not going to play. He didn't play on Thursday night. And he's not getting a ton of minutes, but he's putting up numbers. So I am officially intrigued by Scoot Henderson for the first time.
If you're in a deep league and the areas that he produces in are things that you like or need, he might go Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and then skip the Sunday game. They might skip him on Saturday and then play him on Sunday. You just never know. It's really far out to even be looking at this stuff, but that might work out for you if it was Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And but that's as much as I can say for this squad. Even Robert Williams, it's so game to game. I can't sit here and tell you today to use Robert Williams. If Robert Williams is active and you need defensive big man stats, that is a viable option in a 1-game sample. But that's all I got.
What about Caleb Love?
Yeah. I think he's going to become
gone to the wayside since Scoot's come back, though.
Yeah, he has. But he's made enough of an impression that when we get deeper into silly season, a couple of these other guys maybe kind of go exit stage left. The Blazers are an interesting team. They kind of should have been better than they've been this year, and now they're just teetering. And I think teams that are in the 9 and 10 slots, they don't behave like their playoff squads. They just kind of like, oh, we're not going to let somebody get hurt. Okay, we're in the 9 seed. Okay, we'll just play a game and see what happens. I don't know. I don't have it's not like a hard and fast rule or something, but when you're the Blazers and you got all these guys, it doesn't feel like they're playing for much right now. I mean, it's a lost season, right? You lost your coach in the first month of the season. And, organizationally, there's a lot of shakeup there. So I'm kind of curious if they head the way of the tank, but that's just some fodder here. Let's get to the Los Angeles Lakers, Doc. Who do you like?
One last team, Brew. We're in the
30-team breakdown. I love it.
Woo. Lakers, you can stream Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, Jackson Hayes, maybe Luke Kennard.
He's getting sued for, I don't know if he's getting sued yet, but the guy that he pushed, the mascot, got a lawyer. That's great.
Oh, my gosh. Come on.
Right before the dunk contest. Was he in the dunk contest? Is Jackson Hayes in the dunk contest? I can't remember. I think he is. Not that
I don't know, dude. I'm checking out All-Star Weekend. I'm out all the way.
I'll do analytics stuff to prepare for the last third of the season, but like I am not watching that crap. The NBA, we love it. But Marcus Smart and Jake LaRavia stand out to me as the guys here, and probably LaRavia over Marcus Smart. I feel like when we get back, we'll have Luka back. Marcus Smart heads to the bench. You'll get some classic time off for maybe Luka, LeBron, and LaRavia will just sort of be there to mop it up. And that's going to do it for this episode.
I hope Luka's back. I hope you're right.
I know you hope Luka is back. That's tattooed on your belly button underneath the midriff that you were talking about in yesterday's show. That will do it for this episode of Fantasy NBA. Hey, guys, thank you for sticking in. This is one of our favorite episodes that we do it to make sure that you guys win your leagues. You get all of the advanced intel that you can, leverage in order to do that. So if you guys are listening on the pod feed, please take 60 seconds and leave us a 5-star review. It really actually helps us out. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the Sports Ethos channel so you guys never miss an episode. Special thanks to producer Andre, Doc, our fantasy basketball content team, Mike, Keston, Mark, Tim, William, Pedro, Yoel, John, Paul, Anthony, and many more. And by the way, our baseball guys, a lot of them work NBA as well. They are freaking awesome. They are just killing it. And they have a fantasy baseball draft guide. You guys must check it out. Get the advantage that other people don't have. Rankings win championships, people. You already know this. If you play fantasy baseball and you're not subscribed to that product, get in there and do that. Shout out to the tech team who's really just killing it. Check out our blurb feed and you'll see exactly what I mean there.
Hey, Bruce, I want to say something real quick about the draft guide.
Yes.
When I was at Roto World before NBC bought it, and we were just an independent little website, sort of like Sports Ethos.
Mm-hmm.
When I was using their draft guide, nobody else was using it. Maybe one other guy, my buddy John. If you're in an ESPN baseball league, everybody you're playing against, for the most part, is going to be using ESPN rankings. And part of what happens in draft guides is we destroy the rankings, like break the site's rankings, and you can get such a huge advantage by having. It's sort of like when you play DFS, having a contrarian list compared to what everybody else is using. You can kill some drafts, and these people know what they're talking about. So.
It's so sitting there for you guys because these guys do blurb work all day, every day, and that builds analytical muscles. And I've just been watching them. They put their stuff out. It's like so much better than the average stuff you see out there, whether it's the ESPN stuff or even some of the independents that have gotten really, really big. Like you just need that edge, and these guys are going to give it to you. So shout out to them. Shout out to everybody who's put that thing together. It is an amazing piece of work. And from all of us here at Sports Ethos, I will be back later today with a full 30-team breakdown, believe it or not. And I will be talking about the B150
Do it again
as well. I know. We're just going to keep going, and we'll just wind me up and let me go. Doc, you'll be back Wednesday alongside William Harris to preview the first day of action after the break. And then on Friday, we'll be back to our regular programming with Doc and Mark recapping Thursday's action and looking ahead to the weekend. I'll be back the following Monday, as I I don't know, like go die somewhere. Get my body back in order. And we will continue to have you covered here at sportsethos.com to help you guys dominate your leagues. Tune in for my Bruski 30 team breakdown here later today, right after the release of the Bruski 150. This has been Fantasy NBA Today, presented by FanDuel.
Woo!
Yeehaw!